Hello, how are you all doing? It is late in the afternoon in Derby, and today I thought I would film a video about being different, being unique, and also being your true self. Because I find that to be a very important subject to talk about, because we're all individuals. What does it mean to actually be different? Well, being different means being you, me being me, and that's a wonderful thing. We should all strive to be individuals. We should all seek to be that person who you want to be. Because for some people, it takes a long time to discover who they are. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about being different and being unique and also being your true self. And we live in a world where there's 8 billion people. I'm one of 8 billion. And I like to think that I am unique within myself. Not many people go on YouTube dressed as a Viking, for instance, and I really do enjoy the process of doing that. But I am who I am, and I've always said that. One of my little phrases I invented many years ago. But what does it really mean? Do you want to be normal? Do you want to be like everybody else? Well, I certainly don't. So being different, being who I am, and being who you are, which is more important, is a wonderful and amazing thing. And you must be yourself. And for some people, it takes a lot of time to get there. It takes discovery. It takes learning. It takes experience to find out who you truly are. And for other people, on the other hand, they may never fundamentally know who they are. And that's sad. That's the world we live in. So being different, I think, is a wonderful thing. It gives you strength. It gives you character. And it makes you courageous in the world we live in. Be your true self. Well, we know what true means and what truth is. And truth is a wonderful thing. And being true to that identity is also a wonderful thing. And we should all strive to be true. But it's also about being authentic, having that authenticity. If you live in Texas, you may see yourself as a cowboy. I actually love wearing a cowboy hat. This is one of many I own. And it's a little bit chilly tonight, so I'm wearing a nice top and a t-shirt and a nice leather jacket, which I found in a skip, and it's wonderful. But that makes me who I am. So being yourself and being true to yourself takes time. And a lot of young people are lost these days. They don't know who they are. And so this is designed more at younger people, younger adults, especially younger men adults who are, lonely at times and have a lot of mental health problems, because that's on the rise amongst young people. I've seen it with my own two eyes. It's a wonderful thing to be yourself. And how do you be individual? How do you find that identity? Well, you find it in time. You may grow up, you may like I did, mythology and history. And so those two influences of mythology and history influence who I am today. And, I go out there in the world and I'll tell people stories about the myths, not just the Norse myths, but the myths from all over the world. Actually, I'm fascinated with native Indian myths, because that culture is amazing and they've got some lovely folk tales. So being authentic and having that authenticity to be yourself and to build up that identity is a truly amazing thing. And it makes you unique in the world. Now you can go on a random street and you could pick up two people by chance that, you find Bob and Fred and you put Bob and Fred together. They're going to be different. Bob might like indie music, or Fred may like heavy metal or dance music. No two people are going to be the same. And that's what makes the world a wonderful and magical place. Because could you imagine a world of 8 billion people that are all the same and do the same things? It's not the world I want to live in. And that the gods, or God, or whoever you may believe, that is not the world we live in, and that we do have this uniqueness. So be different. What does it mean to be indifferent? Being different is having those individual likes in music, individual likes in food. You may like to go on a travelling holiday, walking. You may want to go to Ibiza. You may want to go and visit cities. Because every one of us is so individual. That is the beautiful thing about being different. But we also have to go through this journey when we leave childhood, we become teenagers, and then we become young adults, then we get into our 20s. We also have to have self-acceptance. So we have to self-accept who we are so that we can progress on that journey of discovery. And yes, people you're going to meet are going to influence you. Your parents, for instance, are going to have that influence. I certainly have a lot of the mannerisms of my late father. I like gardening. I love classical music. I like reading books, writing poetry. I'm very similar to my dad. I don't look like my dad, but I look like my mum. And yet again, from my mum's side, my mum was an artist, so I like painting. So these things influenced me in growing up and made me who I am today. So being different and being unique and being that tall poppy in a crowd of people is a wonderful and amazing thing. And you have to embrace your true self. And what do I mean by that? It's easy saying these words, but without some, explanation of what the words mean, it's difficult for you to understand. So embracing your true self is getting to love yourself for who you are and accepting who you are. If you're somebody that likes to have long hair, get used to it, live it. Take pride in your long hair. If you like to have short hair, if you like to go weightlifting and bodybuilding, do it to the extreme, because that will make you unique amongst yourself. But it's also about individuality as well, because what we don't want in the world is not having individuality. We want to be unique and individual, and that also is another amazing thing. Now, I often think about filming these different sort of videos for the channel because I want to do something a little bit different and open up the world to the channel, what we've grown and loved. And of course, I'm recognising and seeing myself as a Norse warrior. Sometimes I often say, oh, I'm a Viking, and that's a video for another day. But that makes me who I am within myself. And of course, it's never nice to be in a relationship with somebody that tries to change you. So you do find yourself, you've got a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and they're trying to change you to make you into somebody else. Don't accept that, because that kills off your individuality, and that kills off you being different and being unique. So stand your ground. Don't let anybody change you, because you are who you are, and that is a wonderful thing. And of course, it's all about this journey of self-discovery. I often compare it to the journey of being awake and having awakeness in the world, where we wake up to what's going on and we see the bigger picture, which is a whole entire subject. So again, that also influences the individual and makes us all unique within the world of 8 billion people. And another thing we have to talk about is self-love. Now, I'm not talking about something rude. I'm talking about loving yourself for who you are. Because a lot of people, they don't like who they are. Oh, I don't like myself because I'm overweight, I'm unfit. Well, you can change that. You can become fit. But accept who you are now. And if you want to change that to become a fitter person, if you want to, lose weight, or if you want to gain muscle and not be skinny, then you have to accept that self-love and accept who you are for who you are now, but also progress and learn and go along that path of self-discovery, because it takes a long time. It's like going to the gym, trying to get fit. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens over months and years. You know, people go to the gym or take up running or swimming, and it takes them years to get to that perfection. And never let age limit you either, because we shouldn't let age limit the abilities we have. Yes, if you're 70 years old and you're trying to get into getting fit, you may not be able to do a pull-up at first, but in a few months you will. And in a year you'll be able to do 10, and in 2 years maybe 20. So again, that's all about self-love. And having confidence is also another amazing thing and ability to have. We become confident by going out in the world and putting yourself out there. But confidence is also a state of emotion and a feeling. It is a thought process. We all have that wonderful confidence inside of us, and we can all achieve it. You just got to think it and believe it. Belief is one of the most important aspects within this journey of being different, of being unique and being you. And again, it's about personal growth. If you stagnate in life and you don't grow, and I don't mean physically, I mean mentally, if you don't develop your consciousness and your subconsciousness mentally and have that self-growth and self-discovery, you're going to stagnate and you're not going to be happy with yourself. So do have that self-growth. Do read books. Do listen to audio books if you don't like reading. Find and discover new music, because that too is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And from all these things of self-growth, of discovery, finding out who you are as an individual, you're going to have empowerment. You're going to feel empowered. You're going to feel on top of the world because you're achieving the best you can be. Although we never get to the limit of where we can be, because the brain is such an amazing thing and we are such amazing creatures as human beings, we're never going to get to the top, but we can aim for the top. Why stand in the gutters when you can stand on the pavement looking at the stars? And also finding inner peace. Be happy with who you are. Because let's face it, there's a lot of people in the world, I've been there myself, who've been unhappy in life. So having that inner peace, and I am, most of the time I've got inner peace. I'm very happy with who I am, and I'm very peaceful within myself. And that is a wonderful thing to achieve in life. Another aspect of this journey is finding your voice. I often say in life you should always avoid loud and aggressive people because they're not good for the soul. So be wary of them. But have a voice. Speak your mind, but speak your mind calmly and clearly. Don't get into an argument, because nobody wins in an argument. If somebody argues with you, walk away. It's not worth it. So find that inner voice and speak your mind, but speak it calmly, clearly and precisely. And people will listen. And eventually, as you progress in your journey of adulthood, you'll become an older, a bit like me. If I was back in the Viking times or the times in the medieval times, I'll be considered to be an older because I'm old. But I'm not that old in the modern world. So find your inner voice. But you also have to live authentically as well. That too is important. Living authentically. When you find out who you are, live your life to the full as that individual and that person who's unique. And of course, if you achieve all these things and you work hard, you're going to unleash the potential. Your potential is fast. It goes through the roof. No doubt about it. So remember that. That's also important on the journey of life. You know, look up to your elders. Respect them because they've got the best advice and the best knowledge because they've lived a life and they've been there before you. So respect your elders and that will help you on your journey. We also have to own our own story. I like to think that I definitely own my story because I put it out on the internet, on YouTube. If you said to me 10, 15 years ago, oh, Andy, or Raggy, as you know me, you'll be on YouTube dressed as a Viking telling stories, I would never have believed you. I would have said, no, that's BS, that's bullshit. I'm never going to be on YouTube. Now look where I am. Because I've got self-belief, because I discovered who I am. And I'm taking that journey, and I often describe the channel Northworthy as being a longship raid. We're all getting on a longship together, and we're not quite got to the stage where we've left the dock yet. We're still packing the longship up with all the stuff we need, but eventually we'll set sail and we'll have a fantastic journey on this channel. Another important thing is to find courage. I can't recommend that enough. Finding your voice, finding that courage is so important as well. So do find your courage, because courage is an amazing thing, and it's the human thing. We've all got that courageousness inside of us. So seek it out, discover it, and use it to your best ability. But of course, you're going to have fear of judgment, because no matter what you say in life or do, people will always judge you. But don't let yourself be judged. People are always going to say things behind your back. People are always going to gossip, about you, because let's face it, there's a lot of people in the world that will be jealous of your achievements. So don't let it bother you. Don't fear being judged. Just let it go over your head and just concentrate on yourself and your self-being and your self-worth, because that's an important part of the journey of life. We also have conformity. Should we and do we have to conform to life? Well, I say no. Again, being an individual, having that difference about us and that uniqueness means that we don't have to comply to everybody else. You don't have to join the crowd and go and dance to dance music all day. If you want to go and listen to R&B, you want to go and listen to jazz music, you do that. That's wonderful, because that makes you who you are. And another aspect of this is originality. I definitely like to think I'm original, although there's many Vikings out there, because it's sort of a popular thing to be Norse. And of course, you get the Vikings that dressing too much leather and wear these farby clothes, and you get Vikings like me that be authentic. But I'm not knocking the other guys, because they too have their own individuality and their own identity, and I love that. And it's spreading the word of the Norse world. So if you want to be a cowboy, or you want to be, a hippie, whatever, own it and live it. And again, it's about personal development, and it's about having that mindset to grow. So do grow, and you will find yourself in an amazing place in the future. And it's also about self-improvement, because that too is important. And I think the most important thing is that inspiration you find from people, but also learning life lessons. If you could learn the lesson what life gives you in life, because life is a learning lesson, from one moment to the next, you're going to get the most out of life, and you're going to make yourself to be a wonderful and fantastic individual. And I think most of all, as I often say in the videos, be kind to one another and show goodness and kindness and love. If you can be kind, show love, and do those things, we can make the world a better place. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and you like this style of filming. Now, they call this style of filming the granddad style of filming, because it's very raw, it's very unedited, and yes, I do have a bit of a script to go from, keywords, so that's why I've been looking down at the camera. But you too can do this and film this way. So I hope you find this video to be valuable, and if you're new to the channel, do subscribe and do leave a comment. So goodbye from me. Oh look, I've got a tool there. Yeah.